Hello, everybody. This is Tia Marie. I'm so glad to join you again this evening. Unfortunately, this is the sidebar to the sidebar. And the reason that I'm posting this sidebar is because I have unfortunately been in too many circles, too many board meetings, and too many community meetings where I have found that while there is progress, it is hesitant, slow, um, and not very progressive. So I titled this clap back, Why White People Are Winning. First of all, they continue to win because we don't even believe that we can challenge them. We don't believe that we deserve what we are actually, in fact, fighting for. That is what I find to be extremely evident in most of these circles. Those leaders that have proclaimed themselves to be our Black leaders or Black innovators that are going to move us forward are, in fact, possibly in Michigan, maybe elsewhere, not capable of doing just that. What I find is over and over again, what we do, which is exactly what white folks want us to do, is that we continue to capitulate the way we ask for a revolution or for justice based on white comfort. Did you hear what I said? We continue to base the way in which we ask for justice and revolution on white comfort. White folks have us in such a tight bind that they know exactly what our moves are going to be because we don't really make any major moves. We actually fight amongst each other, fight against each other, and let me just see, I got a note here. I'm sorry. Are you sharing a note with me or are you coming back on? All right, there we go. And you'll probably hopefully edit this out, but I was like, oh, is she trying to get in? I'm supposed to let her in. Um, White people are winning because when we believe that our vote and marching and all of these things matter, they can come along in 2022 and the President of the United States can say that he would like to pass a bill to actually protect, for the first time in almost 60 years, the Voting Rights Act. And in 2022, post George Floyd, post a Black Lives Matter movement across the globe, we are still dealing with the powers that be. White folks are still winning because Black folks have not done the hard work. Now, I get it. There's some policy stuff, there's some patience, there's a lot of meetings that have to happen, and by all means, continue to do that. But just know that every day that we're doing that, white folks are still winning. We have such a distorted view of who we are and who they are that when we show up into the space, we're clueless about what our job is and what we're supposed to be doing. The unfortunate thing is that with our numbers dwindling as of the last census at about 12 million, we were the only group that was tabulated that had no increase in our population. No increase. For the first time in a full decade, we've had no increase. Every other so called minority group, every other tabulated group has increased in population, which meant that when the redistricting happened all across the United States and the new districts were written, they were not written for us. Some of us did not even participate in the redistricting efforts, while people who don't look like us wrote us out of the plan for the next 10 years. Some of us don't listen to the people who are trying to tell us what is actually going on within our schools, within our communities, and to get engaged because we don't want to disrupt our comfort. White folks are winning because they are willing to do the hard work and they're willing to risk everything to do it, every single thing they got, while we sit on the sidelines hoping for a kumbaya. Tomorrow is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. As an observation of his birthday, I shouldn't say it's his birthday. And tomorrow, white folks, Indian folks, Japanese folks, South Asian, Hispanic, LGBTQ folks are going to stand in kumbaya with black folks, and we're going to stand with them, knowing that we're the only group out of all of those groups that has gotten nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing. What do we have to think about? The
Kumbaya.
fact, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm saying kumbaya.
What do we have to think about? That's what's so frustrating about being in this space is when I turn around and I see the very same people who say they want to fight for racial justice, the same people who say they're tired of watching their family members fall deeper and deeper into poverty while white folks are winning. Well, until you take up this mantle to dismantle racism at every single level, starting with education and starting kids are being taught. Because I can guarantee you the rest of these folks that are doing well, the white folks that are winning, they don't let us educate their children. And they don't let racist white folks educate their children either. So while we sit on the sidelines believing that King's dream is realized because we standing next to white folks, it's exactly what they expect for us to do. It's exactly what they hope that we only do while they write the narrative about our Black experience. How
Mm.
soon, how fast, how much. They're writing it. We ain't wrote nothing yet. We don't own anything. We ain't even trying to own anything. When we look around in our community and we see the Black men who get up every day, go to work, but watch their wives, their daughters, their sisters, and their mothers on the front line of a revolution, we have no hope of actually winning this battle. White folks, they don't put their white women on the front lines. They don't put their children on the front lines. We're the only ones willing to sacrifice and put through all of our efforts while our Black men in the community do nothing to protect us, nothing to demand justice or death. Demand justice or death. We're out there singing no justice, no peace. Should be no justice. Are you ready to die? Because the indoctrination that our kids are getting, the kind of education that they are being taught is why they have self-hate, is why they are not learning, is why they have the lowest rate of black boys that end up going to a higher education. When you are so confused that you cannot imagine not being abused.
Sorry, keep
Yeah,
going. We are
that
live.
was lovely. That was
Thank
lovely.
you. Thank you.
When you cannot imagine not being abused to the degree that you won't even help stop the abuse, that you're trying to figure out how to make the abuser more comfortable, that you are trying to figure out how you can stay in your safe space and not risk too much, we have no hope. This is why white folks are winning time and time again. We continue to tell our young people, get a good job, get a good education. Okay, they're doing that. What's different? White folks are getting more and more wealthy, and now they're trying to find a way to leave the planet so they can create more wealth on a
Isn't it
whole
interesting?
nother on a whole nother level. While we sitting here talking about, well, we want diversity, equity, and inclusion in white people's schools. If we don't start today building the school that we will have for the future all across this country, we might as well go ahead and decide to lay down, stretch our necks out just a little further so they can get their foot just nice and tight on our necks. Because that's what we're doing. And that's the frustrating part about fighting for people who don't fight for themselves. Fighting for children who are just as worse off and wanting to be close to whiteness as their parents.
Mm,
Talking to confused young people who know that they don't like how they're being treated in school, but don't you ever talk about taking me away from master.
mm.
Don't you let master hear you say you want to go create a new school.
Mm, mm,
There'll
mm.
be violence. Just stretch your neck out a little further. Position it just so you can get that boot in just nice and tight where you like it.
Mm,
That is why white folks are winning.
mm.
Because we have not had enough abuse yet. We are not sick and tired, as my grandmother used to say. When you get tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, maybe then you'll do something different. We must not be sick and tired yet. We have been part of this illusion, this matrix, this fake reality that as long as we're close enough to whiteness, we enjoy some of the same benefits of whiteness. You think I'm joking? Challenge that whiteness. The next time you go into one of them white spaces, start talking about what black people need. But no, you ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna talk about what black people need because you want what white people got.
Now, what you're telling me is that black people. Now, we were specifically speaking to black women originally about
Hmm.
what we need to build a better community, right? Then you had a
Hmm.
black male. What did the black male say? Like, to me, that's really, so you're speaking to a panel of black women. What were they really specific? Like they were talking about, MLK Day, which is tomorrow, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so so you
I
have
simply,
a
I
panel of
simply,
people.
yes, I made a suggestion that we start today working on what educating our children, ourselves, like every other ethnic group does, every other religious group, and every other quote unquote minority group does. They do not leave the education of the foundational truths of their culture to another culture because they understand the longevity and the significance of being taught who you are from a truthful standpoint, and then teaching you over the course of 12 developmental years how to maintain who you are so that when they release you out into the world, you are able to navigate and still be who you need to be for your community. And when I suggested that, while they could understand that those other groups have done that, to even imagine it for ourselves was almost impossible. It was unheard of. There's no way it could ever happen. Now, we ain't never done anything like this. I wish we did it 60 decades ago, six
So,
decades ago,
so you were suggesting black people who have children in school,
in predominantly white schools in particular,
so black people who have predominantly black children in white school district, which a lot of us have, to do something about it,
that doesn't look like kumbaya.
and they were against it
Yes.
because they felt like they couldn't do it. Like, what was the reasoning of why they
Well,
felt like
the thought process was, no, let's not have a school on our own. I don't like where I'm at, but let's not do a school on our own. I'm not being treated well where I'm at. I'm dealing with racism. I'm dealing with hatred. I'm dealing with teachers who don't understand, teachers who don't look like me, but I don't want to not go there. And this notion of that, and if we were to do this, we will be met by violence. So the very people that you know who would commit violence against you if you were to create something that preserved who you are for the future are the very people who you don't want to leave in order to ensure that future.
what you're saying sounds so. I don't. I'm going to play a clip. If you could just give me, I want to play this clip, and she
Okay.
basically says that we are not warriors anymore, right? She said, allow us to be women. And the particular clip that I'm going to play, it says, women are not warriors. And I'm just going to play that really quickly here, if you just don't, if you don't mind, right? So I'm going
While
to
you're
play that.
getting that set up, I just want to read a couple things so that you
Go
all
ahead, go
understand.
ahead, no problem.
In the state of Michigan, we are one of 18 states declining in early literacy, okay, as of 2019.
Okay. Uh-oh, you broke up a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
While you're still working on that, Michigan in the bottom 10 for African American students in early literacy. We rank at 199. 199 in place of all these other states and measurements. All right.
So
Eighth
Michigan
grade.
ranked 199 in literacy. Our
Yes.
black children, is this black children or children as a
This is
group?
just black children.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Michigan,
We wait. We rank 199 out of what?
199 in performance in our reading scores. Let's see. I guess the highest score would be 230. We're at 199. So these are some of the reading scores that are
Right. That
out
are
there.
based. Yes.
Most people may not understand this. I'll
That's okay.
bypass that. I'll do this one. Math 8th grade students, black students, show little improvement in math compared to their peers in all other states.
Say that one more time, please.
Black students in Michigan, in particularly, 8th grade students in math show little improvement in math compared to peers in all other states.
Eighth
Show
grade.
little to no improvement.
Little to none.
So the highest is Tennessee in the 11.9 percentile. Michigan's black student in reading, well, math is at 3.8%.
Our literacy rate
Little
is
to no
3.8%.
our math
Literacy.
improvement.
Okay.
Our yeah,
It's
this is our
3.8%.
math. Hmm.
And I'm going to say, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, keep going. No, I'm just filling the time while you are
I'm
doing what
ready
you're
to
doing.
go. And this kind of really leads me into my point. And this, we take these numbers, we talk to people, parents, about these numbers. We show them these numbers. compared, and I'm going to relate this to dating and people wanting to mate and have children. Now I put in a subtext. Now I don't even know if you paid attention. I said black people are weak because we choose not to engage in anything serious. So when we're talking about our children's education, investing into our children education, whether it be on a Saturday school or Sunday or a Thursday between 6 and 8:30, we cannot gather any support for black parents to come and do anything.
Nope.
They choose to just, okay, so now I say, and I think, and I relate this to the marriage and being in relationships, because men say they want to date women that looks this way and are this way. Okay, now we're married and now we have children that in the negative, pretty much. We have all, and
Hmm.
you can talk about this much further, where you have other communities that came in 10 years later, they got their own schools. Black people can't even go to a PTA, let alone
Create, let
build their
alone create.
own school. So this comes
Yes.
to my point here, where you have the majority of these panels that you are on, in particularly, and I just happen to join some of them. The majority, overwhelmingly, is about 85 to 90% women.
Hmm.
Women are now saying we are tired being warriors. We
Hmm.
always at the forefront. We got to go to work. We got to fight traffic, deal with all these people at work, come home, deal with the
Deal with
kids, go to
sexism too.
school, deal with the school. Even if you got an A student, if you have an A student in a black school, you think your student gonna have it real easy and it's gonna skid by?
No, no.
I think they do. But I'm just gonna play this clip. Now
So
her name is
that's what I'm trying to figure out. What about skating through these schools do they think exists? So can I just do one more
absolutely
quote? College readiness. About 24% of all Michigan school students are required to take at least one remedial course upon enrolling in one of Michigan's 2 or 4 year college university percent. Okay? But 43.9% of Michigan's African American students are required to take a college remedial course first before moving on into other college courses. So when our kids even graduate, we are twice as likely to still be only able to take remedial college courses and not. So this is kids who go to predominantly white schools.
okay. So we in predominantly white schools. Now I'm in college, and so
And
my
I'm
classes are
still
at the
in the
bare
least of us.
minimum.
Still at
I'm
the
still
least
at,
because we're not
I'm still at
prepared
the
for
bare minimum. Is that what
still
you're
at the
telling
bare
me?
minimum. Hmm.
We got a hey y'all from Taylor. Hello
Oh,
Taylor, how
hey,
are you,
Taylor.
beautiful? I just find it just really okay, so we got to talking, and I'm just gonna play this clip. Okay. Hello there. We have oh God. Is that Janai Noel? Hey
Oh,
ladies,
yeah. She
it's
said she's on her kids' YouTube.
oh, hello
Oh,
there,
hey.
Tiffany. I had to read that. I love that name too. I
Thank you
really
for subscribing too. Don't forget to
that's her
subscribe.
Sasha Fierce. I ain't gonna tell nobody. That's her Sasha. Janae Noel. I love it. So I'm gonna play this clip. So take a listen, y'all. Just take a listen. Here we go. I'm gonna have to play it over here. Okay. Let me know if you can hear it, Tia. Oh
Out
wait.
of a
Oh.
woman's vagina.
Oh.
I would put up these things that we don't talk about, but that make it clear that women are not made for war. Women are not made for the front lines. Women are not designed to be soldiers, to be the people that evoke
Can you hear
violent
it, Tia?
change. That is not our purpose. Nobody would look at a pregnant woman and expect her to take up arms unless it was complete desperation. Once you travel down the line to the expectation that women should do the job of men, that is because all other hope is lost and you have reached the final resort, the final tether. I want women and men to reattach themselves to what womanhood is. I know that the emasculation of men and that feminism has made us all forget what women are. These creatures that bleed for a week out of the month. These people who carry other human beings in their body, whose breasts overflow with milk. We have forgotten what women are. Give us the space to be women. This is why we need protection. As much demeaning as people want to put on womanhood, as much demeaning as people want to put on motherhood, as much as people demean the very essence of woman, this is why all humanity exists. It exists because of these pregnant bellies. Humanity exists because of these breasts filled with milk. Humanity exists because of those creatures who bleed out of their vaginas. This is what men fight and die for. And there is no shame in that. Why don't we bring ourselves back to the appreciation of the essence of what womanhood is and stop expecting women to do the work of men? These are the women who cry when you break their hearts because their design is to be productive and loving. These are the people who key your car because they are not designed to be abused. We are not made for that. We are not made for battle. We are made for what you see in this picture. And as much as people want women to be ashamed of being women, should your mother have been ashamed when she carried you in her womb? When she held your face to her breast, should she have been ashamed? But we're supposed to be ashamed of motherhood. We're supposed to be ashamed of pregnancy, of womanhood. We're supposed to say that we fight alongside the men, but we don't fight alongside any men. I won't. I will not fight alongside anyone. The moment I pick up a weapon, and I can shoot a weapon with amazing accuracy, but when the moment that I pick up a weapon, it's because all other things have been exhausted.
So I wanted to really, I could have played a lot more to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about how we're on the battlefield. You're on the battlefield, doing
Mm-hmm.
the work, fighting. I don't know if that woman raised her son singly handedly, the one that said he don't want to build anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But so many men have left the community. We are left to fight alone. And this really, to me, I'm saying, you know what? We need to turn the tide
Mm-hmm.
because the women, we don't have that. We want to be comfortable. So it's easier for a woman to say, you know what, let's not fight the system. Let's just kind of chill a little bit. And then if she's a single mom, she raises a son, he gonna say the same thing. Let's just
Very
don't
true.
toe the line. Let's just kind of be cool with it.
Very
But
true.
then you have men that is in the home or outside the home who choose to not participate in no capacity.
Either. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be in the home to participate. If we want to
You
go
do
there,
not.
because you don't. You really
You don't
don't
have to be a parent to
to
participate.
participate. I'm sorry. And I feel like it's it really
So that's what
saddens
I'm
me.
trying to figure out. Is it that it's because I don't believe that it is our natural order
It's not.
to be
It's
this.
not. No.
I didn't in the role I play. I didn't choose this either.
That's the
The
whole
what this
we out black.
trajectory
We all out
was
of whack.
what yeah well was what was necessary to protect my own daughters when I first started, but also really as a young person because as we mentioned on another show, my father knew that I was at risk of being unprotected beyond his scope of protection. He knew somehow that I was going to need all of this warrior training, if you will, because somewhere he saw what was happening to young men that were my age, that he must have had the foresight to know you are not going to be protected. You are not, you are going to need to be able to not only protect you, but your own children. Maybe from people within your own community. Let's talk about that.
Before we
Or,
talk about that, we should introduce ourselves because people don't even know who we are. Because I don't even
oh,
think
I
we
did.
did.
Oh, I'm sorry. We did. We jumped right
Well,
into it, y'all.
okay. That's
Hot
what we
topics, right?
said. So this is the a black cat back. From having conversation with supposedly black people who want to be a part of. I don't even know. Not wanting to build their own society. Like we're so long. I don't even know what the word. I don't even know how to describe it. I am combative with a nice voice, and you are
Tia Marie.
Tia Marie, and we here on a Black Cat Back Sunday night after.
Don't say it 3 times fast.
Right. I mean, a Black Cat Back,
Clap back.
baby,
Clap
clap
back.
back, because this is it pissed me off. One thing I did like when she said, and I understand where she come this from. Don't treat people as though they're not don't know anything, right? Because
Hmm.
I have someone have told me that personally, that I can treat the way I come off is as if that person do not know anything. So I can understand that because my thought process is completely different from.
But again, that proves another point that I have, which is that we don't have racial socialization. We're making moves and decisions about our families without racial socialization, without a full understanding. So when we place our kids into these places without that understanding, we then place our kids at the highest risk.
Yes.
And if we cannot talk about that and be accountable for that, then we will not change that. So I get my kids used to grow up learning about something that a wonderful caregiver that they had said. It is okay not to know, but it is a shame not to want to know. And so there is a space where those folks live, which is yes, you did not know. But then how did you make the decision to bring your children out into a community that you did not understand? How did you what reference did you use other than the other nonsense that maybe you were raised on? What reference did you use to determine where you wanted to put your children in school?
I
Did you
would
look
say
at their stats? Because I'm looking at the state of Michigan
I
stats.
looked at the stats.
Okay. What matters? Out of school, I'm sorry, absences. In Michigan, we have the highest rate of absences, 41%. So
I
what
mean,
stats did we
this
use? What
where's
stat? What did we look at? Did we look at the colorful website of the school district? Did they have a few black kids or pictures in the stock photos? Or did you look at their actual numbers? Because I looked at the real numbers, but I also racially socialized my children so that when they got into these spaces, and they have me as a mother who is not going to tolerate racist treatment, who is going to clap back when it's time to clap back,
see you
going to
knew what
come up
racist
against the
treatment was
school.
too, though. See,
Well,
that's the
I never had the illusion that I was ever not in a system of white
that's what
supremacy,
I'm,
that
and
there
that's what
was no
most
community to
people.
go to get away from it. There is no community that you're going to go to and to demand that the oppressor stop oppressing. Well, then I didn't know we could just ask him and he'd stop.
You didn't know this? Oh, you didn't know?
We just ask, just say, you know what, we want our kids to have their schools. Come on.
That's all you gotta do. Go to work. Make sure kids' pants don't sag. Make sure you comply with the police. And I can name a whole gang of people who comply with the police, but that don't matter. Make sure. See, and this is the problem: is that when you're trying to present solutions, and I said this, okay, even if you disagree with my solution, uh, let me take it back.
Hmm.
Tomorrow is Martin Luther King holiday. We're gonna go and we're gonna sing "Lift Every Voice." We're gonna do a poem. Some other shit she said. Well, she said we're gonna now. What was good is having the kids talk about what they feel. It's like a survey. You know how they feel about racism and things like that. I think that's great. But what is your solutions? How are we going to see? And that's the problem. You guys don't want any solutions. They just want to be able to have the I have an organization. They want to be able to say, this is what I'm doing.
Hmm.
And
Having the
the
appearance
parents,
of performative activity with zero impact.
that's a problem for me.
Well, that's what our other larger organizations are. I mean, we can name. We were talking recently, and I'm trying not to name because I know that that's like a YouTube thing too. So I try to be really careful. But some of our large Black organizations, have you all seen them on the front lines of CRT at your school districts? Have you seen your legal and some of your TV pastors and preachers coming to the front lines of CRT in your district?
Hmm. You know what? I'm going to reach out to now 1910, which is Sam Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with him?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he said he's on the front line. I don't know, but he has a voice. So I'm gonna call the show and if I can get in and see if there's any pastors that has. Now, are there any schools that's actually teaching CRT?
No.
That's another question I have.
But not one media outlet, because they're going where the sensation is, not one media outlet has said, you know, that thing that people keep saying about CRT that's not true. We're not going to report on that because it's not even a fact. It's not real. It's not anything. You know why? Because them pretending that they're covering a story on a lie is the point.
So the
And
okay,
we, mm,
maybe there's a delay. There must be a delay.
yeah, you're okay.
Okay.
Can I just keep reading some of these stats that I just
Yeah,
want
go
parents to
ahead.
understand? Michigan's future economy depends on more adults earning college degrees. In 2019, Michigan ranked 33rd in the percentage of adults 25 or older who have completed a bachelor's degree or greater at 30%. Roughly 18% of African Americans and 21.6% of Hispanic Michiganders have completed a bachelor's degree or greater. So when you send your kids to these white schools, 18% of them will actually get a bachelor's degree. But the other 82% that attended white schools who don't ever go on to college endured racist environments only to come out and have nothing to be able to produce for that.
Hmm. So that means what again?
So we are more likely to fail after high school and never attend college than we are to actually attend college. So why are we putting our kids in these predominantly white schools? Because there's only three predominantly black school districts that I am aware of in the state of Michigan.
And what are those?
Grand Rapids School District, Wayne County School District, and the Saginaw Pontiac Area School District.
Wow. Out of the whole state of Michigan.
And out of that, only 18% of those black kids, if we were to talk about the predominant group, 18% go on to college. So when we tell ourselves that our kids are the special kids that are going to go on and do all these great things, that we would cause them to endure this year after year after year, never changing, never pushing back, never saying and demanding that we are not going to continue to put our kids through this and work on the building blocks, whether we see all the blocks or not, to start working on the building blocks of putting our energies into creating our own schools, like all of the other groups that have who find nothing but success. You see, they don't mention Jewish kids on here. You see, they
You
don't
say
mention South Asian kids in the Michigan reporting. They do white, black, and Hispanic. Why? Because we're the only groups that are ridiculous enough to continue to send our kids to these schools. Everybody else has a school for their children to make sure that their foundational, historical, and cultural significance is embedded in their children from birth on.
So I want to get this correct,
Hmm.
because I'm slow. Are you saying out of 850 school districts in Michigan,
Yes.
three of them are black? Out of those three,
Oh, out of I'll say predominantly black,
black,
not
yeah,
only
predominantly
black,
black.
but
But yeah,
predominantly black,
predominantly black. Yes, but I'm talking predominantly black school districts.
which is over way over 50%. Yeah,
Um, 18% of those students go to college
in the state of Michigan,
in the
yes.
state of Michigan. That is extremely important. Like, we don't even understand how that looks.
Nope. Yet this notion that we are somehow preserving something in these schools is beyond me. But you know what I say to those folks?
In Michigan. Hmm.
And I think this is where I was going with this a little bit earlier. Those folks with that mentality that can't see what the future holds, can't imagine a future without master, cannot imagine a future where
Or
we teach our kids how to be the strongest they can be, where we teach our kids from our foundations, where we teach our children what they are capable of and then create a pathway for those things to actually happen, not at the permission of white folks, but in spite of white folks. When we
hmm.
do that, when we do that,
You said something that was very important. You said not in the permission of white folks.
not at the permission of white folks, when we create these things, not with their permission, because I don't give a damn about their permission, when we do it in spite of them and without them and without capitulating to them, the only thing that I see that we don't seem to know how to do yet, and there's a brother that's in Lansing, Michigan, that is currently resurfacing the Black Panther Party, and I hope that he gets all of the support and the help that he needs. I know that there are about 100 or so Black men that are currently standing with him, learning how to do the things that they need to do to protect their community. I hope and I pray that there are more groups that take that kind of initiative because black women should not be on the front line of this. So that when we have our own schools, when we have our own communities, we have an army to protect it. Every other country, every other group, they have either a military or police force to help protect what they have created. And for us, it would be no less.
Mm, mm,
In
mm.
order to ensure every country, you can't name a country that has not created a military, some kind of army, some kind of way to protect what they have built, or instituted a police force to ensure that the citizens are mindful of who's in charge. You don't know another country. You don't know another people but us. The
Wow. I
very
just,
people that we ask to protect us are the very people that are very comfortable killing us,
but then
beating
you have
us.
the black people who don't really, you don't, even if you tell them what's happening, they still don't care.
And that is the sadness of where 12 million, when the revolution comes, will be quickly dwindled. Real talk.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there is no helping, there's no talking because it,
Because what are we negotiating? That's what I guess that's what I always go back to. What are we negotiating and to whom are we negotiating with? Are we negotiating with people who have good faith? People who mean us goodwill? Well, for 6 decades, when they were in charge, our outcomes are, I'm just reading you all outcomes from just 2 years ago. The new stats should be coming out very soon because we're in 2022, 2022. The new Michigan stats should be coming out very soon. This is in the 60th decade after desegregation. The decade. So who have we been negotiating with for 60 years? And when you say patience, when you say take time, when you say give it a moment, do white people wait for the baby steps to subjugate you? Do they do it in little pieces and parts?
I don't think so. But wait, they have the muscle to make a move. Why don't black people have a muscle to make a move? Why don't we even have a desire to make a move?
I believe years and Joy DeGru, I never say her name right, but she has talked about this slavery, post-slavery syndrome. Other folks have talked about um, our racism being a part of mental illness. We are also programmed to capitulate. We are confused about whether or not that capitulation has benefits attached to it. So we are very willing to open ourselves up to that capitulation. And so I believe it is brain damage when you cannot see for the forest that the enemy is coming for you and you stand there and go, well, let me help you. Let me get out the way so you can get at me harder. You stretch your neck out further. That's brain damage. That's the only thing I can imagine it can be. That's the only logical explanation is that it is
You got
brain
way
damage.
more hope than I do, because I'm gonna tell you, you sound very optimistic. By the way, I appreciate your optimism.
Well, when I say they're brain damage, I'm not saying that there's a cure for it. What I'm saying is
I don't.
our current population is around. Let me just make sure I put it up. Let's see. Let's see.
This is
Michigan.
a very hard topic for me. As much as 10 years, 11 years ago, I had a lot of excitement, to talk about it. I was really, robust with it. And the more and more I began to express, and I may not have expressed it in the best way, but one plus one is two. So, however you got to the math, it equals the same. I You could do the same work. Dr. Wilson, Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. I mean, I go on and on and on. All these people have done we're not saying anything new. We're not proposing anything that's, I mean, like, this is like,
They have been, but this is why I believe that we capitulate. So I like
okay,
numbers. I like hard code facts.
I'm about to, this is a, this was, which one is this one? Let me go to this. Let me, this is the, one of the Jewish day school.
Hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's Jamal? Oh,
There's
where's Dr. Johnson, the black male teacher that's teaching these Jewish kids? I'm sorry. I'm looking for him in
oh
the stock photo.
he I don't think he there. I
Oh, but
think,
is Jamal there? Let me see. Scroll up. Is
you know
Jamal
what,
there?
he might
Jamal
be
must
over
be
here.
there.
He might be at the Japanese
Oh,
school.
wait a minute.
I
Where's
don't
Dr. Johnson?
know. Okay, no, wait, hold on. He at the Indian Asian. Oh, he not at the Indian Asian people either. Okay, wait. I hold on
Right.
now. There got to be some more, because we can really kind of go on and on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's over here.
Oh, let's see.
A
Oh,
whole
well,
bunch of white
no.
people over here.
Nope. Nope.
This is Jewish. This is this
This is what I want us to understand.
Wanda Zelderman Foundation for the Jewish community.
There's this thought that there aren't enough of us, right? And so I just want to dispel that real quick. Don't you have to I want to dispel something real quick because a lot of people have said, well, there aren't that many of us. Now, let's listen to the numbers.
Okay.
In Michigan, there are 7,457 white folks,
So,
1,350 black folk, 525,000 Hispanic folk, and 325,000 Asian folks. Let me keep going down the list. Let me just be
how many
real clear.
Mexicans? We don't have that many Mexicans.
No, no, let me just let me.
So
Let's
after
see.
us is
Okay.
who's next? After us, who was the next?
Wait. Well, so it's seven
What's the million?
million.
Yeah, white is a million, black is a
Okay.
million.
So, well, we'll say 7.5 million white folks,
Mm-hmm.
1.3 million black folks,
Okay.
525,000 Hispanic folks,
Hispanics. Okay. How-
325,000 Asian folks,
Okay.
and American Indian and Alaska Native alone 52,000. Some other race alone 10,000, and Native Hawaiian 1,900.
Okay.
So, oftentimes, a dispute for why we can't have our own schools is that there's just not enough of us to have our own schools. Well, if I look at the Asian population with 325,000 in the entire state, less than, let me get the percentage here in just a minute. Oh, I'm gonna get the percentage in a moment. I'll find the percentage. Yeah, there are several schools. Out of that 7 million white folks, those are a good portion of those are Jewish schools and Catholic schools. Schools
Mm,
separated by religion. Schools separated because you're a Quaker. Schools separated because you are a Mormon. Schools separated. So that population has already figured out how to have all kinds of schools. We're the only ones. When I looked up and all black, black led, black ran, black funded, black built, black educators, we have zero. 1.3 million people who are disproportionately affected by every single aspect of education. I have yet to find one aspect of Michigan education that shows that Black students, 1.3 million of them, are thriving. Not in math, not in reading, not in science, not in gymnastics. Not one. Yet we can't imagine a school for ourselves.
yes. We
That is
can't
why white
even
folks are
imagine talking
winning.
about it, let alone doing something about it. And that's my whole thing. So I began to believe, and this is very sad for me. Like black people are going, we're going extinct.
And at this rate, to ensure that you are.
Yes, we're going extinct.
Oh, and let me add one more thing. Oh, these were the universities. So the universities that have the highest percentage of Black students are Oakland Community College,
Okay.
21.8%. Eastern, and some of that is affordability and grades.
Yeah.
Some of it is both. 19.7% blacks at Eastern Michigan University, 19.2% blacks at Wayne State University, and 18.8% at Andrews University in Berrien, Michigan.
Oh, I never heard of that before. Andrews, I never even heard that before.
And I'm sorry, well, I think this because it's from
Is
Mary Grove. I
Andrews
think
or
it's closed.
Adrian?
Is it Mary Grove closed now? Mary
You
Grove
know
was the
what?
highest population. It
Oh,
has
really?
68% out of
I
Michigan's top
really.
90 colleges. Mary
It's
Grove used to be
interesting.
number one.
Yeah, that could be. It could be a strong possibility because it could be. Or UAD, or UAD don't even have a really hard. That's University of Detroit do not have.
University of Detroit is 15% black.
Okay.
Schoolcraft is 14%. Baker is
Woo!
13%. University of Michigan Flint is 13%. And
Okay.
where else? U of M don't even rank. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah,
Western Michigan 12%,
okay.
Grand Rapids 9%, University of Michigan Dearborn is 9.4%. Michigan State University 6%. So when you're
Mm.
putting your kids into these colleges and in University of Michigan is 4.3%.
And U of M, U of M is 4.3 and state is 6%.
Hmm.
That is definitely something, we want that goes back to my topic again, parents being ashamed. Like if a parent say, well, my kid goes to Schoolcraft, or my kid goes to Baker College, my kid goes to whatever, anything that they could
Well, it's
perceive.
funny you mentioned Baker College. Baker College 0% black.
Huh?
I'm
I
sorry.
thought you said
I'm sorry. Baker is by different towns, so I'm sorry.
oh, okay.
Baker in Flint, zero. Baker in Jackson, 0% black. Baker in Cadillac, 0%. Baker in Clinton Township, 0%. Baker Auburn Hills, 0%.
Baker College. I thought they had well,
Michigan Jewish Institute, 0%.
I
So
don't.
again, I want us when we are saying that we are putting our kids into all white schools so they can go on to have these all black experiences in college. What are we actually doing? Because those are the real numbers. What school is your kid going to?
So this is what some black women propose to stop birthing children.
I don't know if it's that extreme because I find that problematic for even their own existence. But I think I believe what they're saying is I can't deal anymore.
And
And
why should they?
to the extreme of not being able to deal anymore.
And so their thing is, why should I deal?
Yeah.
Because you have women, because they're saying black women don't want to get married. And again, I'm bringing this back to this whole point again because me and you were sitting here, we're discussing this. My heart rate is racing because it's really affecting me. It really, I mean, because this is like
Yeah.
it's personal.
Mhm.
And it's generational for me. Like I'm thinking like we talked about this and I said this earlier. I would want my son or your daughters to be able to mate with suitable black mates. We can't even provide a structure for that, let alone. But the
Mhm.
thing is, women should not be the ones out here doing the work. If you want women to be fit, feminine, and friendly, and I'm cool. I get, like, I'm not even, that's not, to me, that's easy.
Mhm.
To me, that's easy. Fit, feminine,
Mhm.
friendly. And I got two of them. Two out of the three down. I just got to work on the other one, right? So we don't, okay, cool. But what is my benefit?
Yeah.
You haven't built anything.
Protected nothing.
You don't protect nothing. You don't marry black women. And when you do, the majority, not all, because there are some great husbands, because they
Mhm.
are really great, phenomenal husbands. But like as a
Asha.
group, because the numbers show, it's not me saying this. So the numbers are proven. Like we have they saying 80%, but it's like 67 to 70% of children are in single mother status, right? You
Yep.
blame the women for having children out of wedlock. Okay, I'll take all that too. But you got plenty of marriages that the father, the husband, is not present. He's not even competent
Mm-hmm.
to be either. He can't be a father. He can't, because he don't have no solutions.
No.
And before we married him, he didn't even have any accomplishments.
No.
But we're wrong for saying, "Hey, we want to like you." I don't know if you were saying this. I don't know if you said I listened correctly. Some of the women want a guy was saying if they make like 120, 130, the black woman will want him
Mm.
to make 1 million. Like, okay, right? I don't, if he says that is true, I can only take his word because I don't date women, so I don't know what they're saying. But to me, it sounds like you have some real strong incompetency, so that's going to have to compensate for what you lacking in. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like to me. But I could be totally wrong. It could be these women are just, some women are really so far out. I have met women that are completely delusional. They got the good
Mm-mm.
guy. They got the man that's doing what you're not going to get like this fairy tale marriage and all of that. He's doing what he's supposed to do. So you have
Mm-hmm.
women that are completely far out. So I'm not just saying women are perfect. Absolutely not. But if this is the case, the men as a group, regardless of what, if they say women degree don't matter, your degree don't matter really either. Because guess why? You have not produced nothing. We don't own nothing. You don't control nothing. So now the women that are saying abort black babies, they're also saying go with the more competent race, which I
Mm-hmm.
totally disagree in. But this is really what they're saying. They're saying y'all ain't did nothing. You want us to be, and then when we are all of that, now it's still a problem because because now they want a lady in the street and a freak in the sheets. Now, if she don't have no experience, she's not gonna know how to do all of these.
Well, the woman that they describe is actually an avatar.
Just like the men that women describe is an avatar. So we
Mm-hmm.
have a huge disconnect. I think the
Mm-hmm.
ones who don't have the huge disconnect are the ones that are been married for a long time and kind of really
Mm-hmm.
get it.
But we should be concerned that the very things that we say that we don't want in our community are perpetuated by the systems that continue to create that disconnect. And just assuming that we,
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
okay,
Um,
we have people have pointed that out exactly where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
All yes, though you ain't even got. I don't even want you to go down that rabbit hole and spill what you're gonna say. That has already been said.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the same thing. We talking about education, how they don't want to hear it, or we're gonna just go with
Mm-hmm.
this way. There's a very black influencer on the
Mm-hmm.
black YouTube street.
Okay.
He specifically, and I have it on tape just in case. He specifically said, "Do not start." He told another black male, the average at best guy. He told another black, the one that wear the suits and everything. He told another black male to do not start his own YouTube type service. You should just acquiesce to their service and go
Mm-hmm.
from there. And all I took from that was, to me, you telling another black man don't be another Elon Musk, another Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually telling him to just stay in the realms of what we already got, which is we don't own or control. Because what happened was their channel got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
I told you when people come on live and they had some X-rated stuff on their line,
Mm-hmm.
and they
And they
they
cut
hold
did
their
somebody
whole
else's.
channel, not just that one show, but the whole channel. They could not access anything. But luckily, they
Did
had a
too
huge
many.
following, and they got back on. So they were like,
Mm,
we got to start our own thing, which I promote that all day. That's my whole point of doing what I
mm-hmm,
do, because I already know. So you had another high value male who's supposed to be high value telling another
mm-hmm.
black group of black men who want it and have they're young, they're vibrant, to not start their own streaming platform similar to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is so effeminate. I mean, for real. I mean, that's like saying, and they got the money, they can actually.
Threatened by their success, maybe intimidated by their success,
Well, they're not
fighting
where he's at,
crabs in a
but
barrel, because it's
potential.
because
Yeah,
but they would be a threat. This is where the old lion wants to still
mm,
run the pride, and the new little jumpy the new little lions that come along that are going to challenge him for his position. He's trying to shut them down now, rather than be a mentor. Ask them if they need financial help. Do they need to be connected with the right people? Do you know how I got where I got? Let me let you meet the people that I know.
oh, you trying to do what?
Trying to bring folks along.
I got two people. They're gonna call you in the morning, young brother.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
no, and he said it in a real nice suit and tie way. I taped it because I said nobody else. Like one or two
Nobody else did because we're
caught
all like,
on to
oh well,
that.
yeah. They should probably stop doing what they're doing because he's an authority on
It's gonna
something that
take a
he
lot of
isn't.
money, man. You gotta have a lot of money to do that. And what you do? I
So
mean,
so 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 how much are you going to invest, Mister? It's a lot of money.
but why can't all the black men that's in the manosphere? Because
Mhm.
this particular person has like over 1 million subscribers.
Mhm.
They could just donate what $2-3 a month, just specifically towards funding their own YouTube. How about that?
I watched a video of the young lady who bought a distillery.
Yes, the water. You mean the water fountain? The water.
Yes. Yes.
I
And
told
there
you, yes,
were
she gave
people.
me. I said we can definitely hook up with her. I told you we need to hook up with her. I said
Yes.
I sent you everything I found on her because I thought she was beautiful.
Yes. But every situation that she encountered was someone telling her how white folks, I mean, how black folks don't do water distillery. White folks don't do, I mean, black folks don't do this or that. And I just thought it is so ingrained in us, whether we're aware of it or not, to grab at each other's ankles, to tear each other down, that we don't even probably hear what the thing is that could be done. We are so quick to tear it down instead of saying yes and how do I add to that and how do I help that? How do I lift that up? What else do you need? Do you need me to invest in it? You need to get more people to invest in it. Instead of asking more questions, we tear it right down. That to me is the brain damage that I'm talking about.
As soon as
That
somebody
to me.
says something, now Taylor, she said what you just
um
said is unheard of. I'm sure we probably missed exactly what you said, but if you want to put it in the chat, I would love to make sure we know exactly what we said
mhm.
what was unheard of, because we've been
Uh,
saying a lot. But
well, I think she was saying like the collaboration of like saying instead of tearing it down, going, what can I add to it? Do you need any more money?
yeah,
There's some people I can have you talk to. Let me make sure you guys have everything you need so that you don't have the pitfalls that I had.
oh yeah.
Let me make sure that you all talk to the right people. I got an investment guy that helped me hold on to my investment. I have some other people who I think would be willing to invest in you all. Do you need some more education? Do you need some more training? Until we start addressing each other that way, instead of finding the first thing we can tear down about it because it ain't been done, or white folks may not let it happen, or well, you can't go around
Oh,
just doing that.
say yes. Okay, perfect. I'm glad we got make sure we understand, because that's really important to know, Taylor. Because as older, I don't consider myself elder because other people have to give you that affirmation personally. But as an older person, I want to be able to make sure I can, if even younger than who you are, come to me and say, "Hey, I have an idea. Well, let me see if I can help you. Whether it happens or not, I need to contribute to you." Because, and this is beautiful. She said, Taylor Banks says, "We do not believe in ourselves, so we can't believe in other people."
Very true point.
Baby, it's so true, because that's like me. Yeah, I mean, that's it.
See if
That's
Taylor wants to come on. Do you want to come on, Taylor? This
that's
grown
it.
folks talk.
That is it. I'm going to put Taylor is on YouTube, so I will put the link
Oh,
in
she's
the
on
chat.
YouTube.
Yes, I will put the link
Okay.
in the chat.
I want to go back and read some I think that you have said before. The census indicate that at every educational level, the percent of divorced or separated Black women is greater than the percent of divorced or of separated white women. Among women ages 40 to 44 with a high school diploma or less, approximately 27% of Black women and only 20% of white women were divorced or separated. The racial gap becomes more pronounced at higher levels of education attainment. For women 40 to 44 with at least a bachelor's degree, 24% of Black women and only 12% of white women are divorced or separated. So white women can be highly educated, but the more educated we become, the more likely we are to be divorced. White women,
Mm.
okay, across the socioeconomic spectrum, Black women are more likely than white women to be separated or divorced, even though they are substantially less likely than white women to ever marry in the first place. So we're the least likely to marry, at like 46%, but the highest to divorce when we are married
Really? See,
at 27%.
see? And I definitely want to give a shout out to, even though it's a few days ago, we do have a few new subscribers. So thank you. We are up to 20 subscribers. We are only 80
Yay!
subscribers away from the big giveaway because you are going to the giveaway. I think I'm not
Yes.
sure what channel it is because you have more than one channel. So we can talk
I
about that
have more than
later.
one channel.
Yeah, I
But
kind of forgot.
100 subscribers, you guys. I'm doing a
Okay.
$100
That's
giveaway.
going to be on your Kendrick Soul with
Yeah.
Tia Marie channel. 100
Yeah.
subscribers. You have a secret you're going to tell. So I'm excited to know what
I'll
that
tell a little secret.
Ooh, well, that's what you said now, not me. I didn't say this. It looks like, I don't know. It's kind of freezing up on my end over here. Are you doing okay?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. I see. It's me. So yes, Taylor, I definitely put the link in the chat. I think I'm not sure which YouTube channel you're on, Taylor. But if you could just, I think you're on Kendrick Souls on your
So
Kendrick Souls.
while our marriage rates decline in African American women, Black men also became more likely to never marry.
Hmm. Who came to never marry?
Black men, as our
Wow.
number, as we did not get married, they chose the path to never marry.
I blocked Taylor.
You blocked her.
I did by
Hi,
mistake.
Taylor.
Let's see. I don't know how to fix it. Keep going. But wait, how do I fix it? Hmm.
Also noting that Black men at every income level are still less likely to be married than their counterparts at the same financial level.
You said say that one more time.
Oh, is Taylor coming on?
I don't know. I think I blocked Taylor for some reason. I hit the wrong button. I don't know how I did that. Because we had a bot came in. I don't know how those bots
Mm.
get in. So do me a favor, Taylor. Go over to, I'm going to put this in the chat here. And then I'll figure out how to unblock you later. But go over to this YouTube channel because we are streaming over here too as well. I don't know why those bots been coming in, but they've been coming in. Everybody's.
Hmm. Well, while you're doing that, I'll fill the silence.
Oh, I was gonna say this real quick. Taylor, go over to Combative with a Nice Voice YouTube channel. Just go on over to there and type in something, and then I'll put the link in to join. And then I'll just go back later and try to figure out how to unblock you. I think I just did it on this particular platform, but just go over to Combative with a Nice Voice YouTube channel. Taylor, and then we'll get you on if you want to join. I don't know if that what you wanted to do anyway, but at least there you can comment because I think I blocked you from the Kendrick Soul with Tia Marie by mistake. My apologies. So go. So
We do have a thank you for inviting virtually. Why? Love the energy.
oh well, that was wonderful. What I
Okay.
do
Can I
appreciate
do my
is
stats? Okay.
what's that? I'm going to be confused.
So, black men who consistently make white men aged 40 to 44 earning higher earning men are consistently more likely to have been married or be married among black men ages 40 to 44. In contrast, the higher earners are actually less likely to have ever been married or to get married um, than their counterparts. Um, they said that this is a phenomenon because it doesn't work like this in any other ethnic group.
So say that one more again.
They count this in the statistics, and this is a study that U of M did actually. But to the best of our knowledge, this phenomenon has not been previously identified in any other ethnic group but ours. Where even so the norm is as white men earn more money,
Hmm.
they get married, they have more options in terms of marriage, their education is higher, they have access. Higher earnings translate consistently into the greater likelihood of marriage for white men, though not for black men. So we're in reverse. And so the people doing this study say, to the best of our knowledge, this phenomenon has not
Oh,
been previously identified in any other group. So as our every other group, as they earn more, as they're more educated, they're more
hmm.
likely to be married. Black men are only the reverse, that the more educated and the more money they have, the less likely they are to be married or ever marry. So just pointing that out.
And that really goes back to my whole point again. The stats are just not adding up. It's not. It's not adding up. We're being extinct.
This is so crazy. Anyway.
We're being extinct, and it's the facts. Because I'm telling you, like it's so. I really want to do the panel where we talk to men who really want to date, who really want to date and marry, or not just, I say date long term and marry. Not even looking for friends for benefits and all that, no, but we're talking long term dating and marriage. I want to talk, we're going to have a panel. We're going to collect some wonderful black men to have them come on and tell us exactly what the problem is, what their dating issues are. And then this is another thing too. As I'm saying all of this, guys don't build, you don't do, you don't haven't produced anything. Because I'm gonna just say how this really came about. There, we live in the
Hmm.
Michigan area where you have every where we have more Chaldeans in that way, right? We kind of interact with Chaldeans a little bit more because they own
Hmm.
practically everything in our particular area, the gas stations, the stores, the grocery stores,
Hmm.
all these different things they own. So the black women and men were both saying that we need to look to their group to see where black people are going wrong.
Well, that's what I was going to read to you.
Okay. Oh, look, we're on the same page.
Okay.
Let's see where you're going with this, and then I'll finish with mine.
So, first of all, black men with more resources and more money are more
Mhm.
likely to have multiple uh, concurrent sexual relationships than the monogamous relationships that white men do. So, as they have more money, they are less likely to cultivate monogamous relationships.
So
But
the more
to
money
your
black
point,
men had, the less they're likely to date. exclusive
No, the more sexual partners they have and
have.
the less monogamous relationships
Right.
they
They're
have.
not going to marry. They're, even if they do
Yes.
marry, it's not going to be exclusive. Is
And
that what
they
you're
say
saying?
exact well no, that as they get more resources, more
Mhm.
money,
Yeah.
more status, whatever they're getting, as that becomes more, they become less and less likely to have a monogamous relationship, which would lead to marriage. They tend to have more sexual partners. And white men is the opposite. As they get more resources, as they get
And
older,
less likely
prob-
they just
prob-
sleep around.
probably, probably because they understand that they have more to risk. They
Black people, on the
understand.
other hand, they want to go out and do the opposite. We all, first of all, black men with no money sleep around anyway. So now you putting a double on this one?
So they're saying that black men, as they get more, so, which is the opposite of their white counterparts, as they get more resources and access to, education, black men are more likely to have
Okay.
non-monogamous relationships, to have more sexual partners as they access this level, and their white counterparts do the opposite. As they get more status and more money, they have less sexual partners and are more likely to marry. Now, I'm guessing the white men understand that all of that access and all of that money is more at risk if you are having multiple sex partners than if you have one partner. It's more risk to your health, the sustainability of your wealth, and they want to keep the wealth within their pool. Black men, not understanding that that's what white men are doing, actually put their wealth more at risk by having multiple sexual partners, putting their
Wow.
own health at risk, and therefore not securing the bag they think they're protecting by not marrying one woman. That's what I want them to know. The other thing I want them to know is that it says that
Where's my sound effects?
wait a minute, wait. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it was saying that the model discussed above proposes, contrary to the fact, a racially segregated romantic area in which Black men and women constitute each other's entire pool of romantic partners, whereas other groups are able to uh, have more interracial interactions. So, the implications of the fact that black men are much more likely than black women to marry someone of another race. Such a sex disparity in interracial marriage rates may exacerbate the bargaining disadvantage of black women and thereby further depress marriage rates among African Americans. So, because they can date outside of the race, but we can't, they actually are causing the disparities in our marriage gap for black women.
Well, the reason why is because you black women ain't shit.
Nope, no, we ain't. Oh, now this is a new one. Most 29% of Asian women are in an interracial relationship with black men
Now, what's funny is I saw the rise in the Asian and black, and you talked about this too, also.
and
Where
Hispanic. 15%
I
of
do
these men
see,
marry.
yeah, and I see that 'cause also now you having black women pushing back as well, saying, you know what, we're going to start dating outside our race as well because we're not your preference. So I think it's going to get really tricky. I'm going to our next impromptu. I'm going to really put together some pieces to show you how really terrible this really is because even let's just say Asian women are dating black men 29%. Cool.
Hmm.
They're not going back talking bad about Asian men. They're not
What do
going
you
saying
mean?
to
Oh,
the
they're not going and
women
saying, "Well, I married a black man and I
because
can't
Asian
stand Asian
Asian
men."
men because Asian
Oh.
men are this and Asian men are that. They don't know how to do this. They have, you know what I'm saying? Like or vice versa, the Asian male is not talking bad about the China, the Asian woman.
Hmm.
Rarely hear white men talking bad about, or
Well, is
white
that they don't talk about it publicly? Is it, well, here's the thing. At such a high rate, well, here's how we can maybe take a guess. At such a high rate, that feeling about it would probably reduce the rate, not increase it. So my guess is no, they aren't. If I had to just look at the numbers, if they were getting backlash, the number would be decreasing because
they
they
were
would
getting
want to
backlash for
still.
what?
Well, from like, so if they, because I think what you're saying is the reverse. I'm thinking of it in the reverse. They're not bad mouthing Asian men because they're not being bad mouthed when they marry black men. You see what I'm
Well,
saying?
on the
That would
contrary,
cause a
that is actually
reduction
not
of
true.
them. I'm sorry.
Actually, well, I'm not gonna say not true. I'm gonna say from my research,
Mhm.
any not white woman, we're talking a non-black woman that's not white. So Asian, Indian, Latina,
Mhm.
Cambodian, their family, from the research that only I, yes, they do get bad mouth depending on his status. Now, if you bring home a
But it
white,
doesn't reduce their ability. It doesn't reduce them participating in
depends.
interracial.
So let's just say, so let's. I'm not, and I'm really going on far fetched here, but it looks like, let's say the Asian chick is poor. She ain't got no hope. She in a destitute situation, no problem.
Mhm.
But if you're talking a high society, a high caliber Asian, a high caliber Latina, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be, even if it's not even the case, no matter if it's a black person, male or female, if they're honest enough, they will tell you the backlash that that person will get,
Mhm.
unless that black person have some kind of status, which then we go into, if you're like a broke, okay, so like, him, he used to sell DVDs. His
Mhm.
nephew started dating a Latina, had a baby by her.
Mhm.
And he was, when I saw him, he was like a young dude. So when you hear him, he got settled down. I'm like, oh, he got settled down, blah blah. But
Mhm.
apparently, before he got settled down, he was doing that. I don't want some kind of drugs these young kids do now. He's a black male dating
Mhm.
a Latina. Now, first he was doing real good. Now he's back on that stuff. But apparently now it's coming out the bag is that the family never liked him anyway. She was with him because she's not a high caliber Latina. She just like every lived down the
Mhm.
block like everybody else. But her brothers and family, male cousins, did not look at him in a
Mhm.
respectful way. So, and this is the truth, because a lot of men want to put, even when black women too divest, they want to project this image that everything is all good. You can talk to
That's what I'm
Asian
saying. They're not having these conversations. I have never
conversations,
heard
and I
Asian
know
people talk about the interracial divide that they've experienced. You don't hear from black men anymore. You don't hear even from white and black people who experience these things. You don't hear them discuss what took place or what is taking place because they do try
in
to
their
project
relationship.
this model of like perfection
Yeah.
in order to not make those
Just look at the
statements about
kids.
the success of their relationship
Just look at
invalid.
the
Yeah.
kids. Look at the kids. How confused are the kids? Look at the
Yeah.
children. Look at the person. Look at the less dominant person. So if it's a black male or a black woman that's dating a non-black person, they are the less dominant person in terms of resources,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's a fact.
Yeah.
So you already starting on an equal footing. So I mean, so this is what I'm trying to say here.
Mhm.
If you're a black male, you, for some reason, I need to play this episode. There's a girl, a black woman. Let's just say she will be. How can I equate this to a West Bloomfield chick? Kind of like that Chaldean, but she might be white, maybe. Almanian West Bloomfield girl. You know
Mhm.
that one. The
Yeah.
Tesla. You know that one.
Mhm.
She's dating a black guy. He looked like a football player or a basketball player, attractive black man, and they were in a car, and it was filmed. It's viral. And I'm gonna actually put this in the clip when we have next time.
Mhm.
He was saying all black, all everybody want a black man, and she said, "Well, I see what you're saying, but when
Mhm.
a white woman or a non-black lady, a white lady, whatever, of high caliber, not
Mhm.
poor and destitute, is dating a black person, is not looked at as positive." And the black male says, "Well, I disagree." She said, "Well, I'm a white woman and I grew up around white people. I don't get
Mhm.
props for dating you."
Wow.
I'm gonna play this clip, and his whole energy shift out because they come with this. And of course, when anybody say what's your ideal mate handsome person,
Mhm.
they gonna say tall, dark, and handsome. Yes, that is true.
Mhm.
Everybody wants color, but now the position is how we were saying. Black women are saying, "Yeah, you. Everybody may want you, but you ain't got shit. You don't control shit.
So
Nobody's
they want
respecting
you. So they want you
Look
as a
at your
novelty.
community. Look at your community. You can't even control your own women.
Mm.
You can't even control your own children. You can't even control your own penis." Because now they're saying, okay, you got this 29% of Asian chicks that's marrying the black guys and maybe more in Latina,
Mhm.
whatever. But they're realizing they're getting the same black guy that I got because they will get with these non-white women and say, like, we're bad, we're the bad ones, you know. And
Mhm.
now they're realizing now you didn't got the same they didn't got the same black chick, the same black guy we got,
Yeah.
who incompetent black dude, because he doesn't control or own anything. He has to go and beg for his money no matter what
Mhm.
job he got. If he's not bringing in the money himself, he has to acquiesce and bow down to the system. He's going
Yeah.
to come home and take it out on you like he did us.
Well, but they're still not divorcing them. So what?
Well,
What's the
so
glue
let's
that
give
keeps
it
that
another 10
together?
years. Let's give it another 10 years
Okay.
because it's moving
Well,
up in
then
the
that's where it goes into. Then they end up divorced, even though they married. They end up divorced and then never married again.
well, contrast this. They're saying that out of biracial couples, white women who have their highest baby daddy rate is with black men
Mm.
because they choose their preference,
Get their
but they still
baby and
don't
move
marry
on.
him. And
Mm.
they treat, because if you do something one way, you're gonna do them all ways. See, that's the thing here. We think this because you get with such and such, your whole behavior is going to change. No,
The same
it's not.
behavior. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I see you, Tay Tay. Okay,
Did she make it on something
yeah,
somewhere?
yeah. So I just find it very. And then you got the black women too who believe they're gonna get with these Brads and Marios, I guess, and they're gonna get treated differently, and they're actually not because they're looking at us as if, well, your own man doesn't even care about your ass.
I think we were just talking about like just over the
They,
break in the last month, four or
they
five black women killed by white boyfriend or white husband or yeah,
and then
yeah.
you can contrast that with black men killing us, and then white black women. I mean, so we're both doing each other
With
a
a
disadvantage,
mm-hmm.
thinking that if we do this, something good is going to come out of it. But that's not the case because they don't realize that everybody else is in a race
Yep.
except us. Because a lot of people want to survive. White people they're willing to sacrifice their white women
Mm-hmm.
because they want to survive because white people are not producing. And in order to they're dying more than they're birthing.
Yeah.
So in order to get some of that life, they got to get with somebody with some melanin.
Mm. So do you I don't well, maybe the white women feel that way. I don't think the white men
They may
are
not want to, but
going
they have no choice.
Mm.
So what they did was they created. So even though it's a the white woman will have sex with the black man because they like that cocoa shit anyway, right? So that and we're gonna that's another. So the white woman can have children with the black man because that's going to help
Mm.
keep their race going further
Mm.
because they can lighten it back up.
So that's what they're trying to do. Mm,
Yes,
mm, mm. Mm, mm, mm.
because they're dying more than they're birthing.
Yeah, their rates are down. They're down
I think they were
21%
trying to
in
do it with
there.
the Asian women, but they don't have enough. They're not as nobody is fertile as the mother and father of the planet,
Yeah.
and we refuse
Yeah.
to believe it. Taylor, can you hear us, honey? Because you're
Yes, I can
on.
hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, there you go. Yes, yes. It's a little robotic.
It's a little underwatery, but I think my battery is getting ready to die.
Okay, yeah. And Taylor, you might be late too, babe, because we probably will be.
Did
Did
you
you want
have
to
any
say
thoughts
something,
before? Yeah. Yeah.
Taylor? Oh, now we can't hear you at all. I see
Can you
you
hear me?
talking, but it's not working. There you go. There you go.
I won't say that I had a lot of thoughts. I did put a comment in the when I was on the other channel that y'all might want to read. It was basically saying that black men don't choose to or decide to not marry. They're too busy out marrying other races.
And can I ask how old you are, sweetheart?
22 years old.
See, I wasn't saying this at my 22. It would maybe just be they not getting married, but it wasn't out other races. So now you got a double whammy. They wasn't marrying my age. Now they, if they is married, it's gonna be somebody. Do you think that have you been told that black men are not attracted to you? Like they don't want to date you at all? And if you on Taylor, I
Um,
can't hear you. I think you're talking. Okay, there you go. It's a
hold,
delay. It's a
hold on.
delay.
Hold on. I would say
Oh, you went away again, sweetheart. I don't know why the picture don't. The picture would normally come up even if you're not active. But Taylor, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me or not. But I don't know why the picture don't come up no more. I'm gonna ask them that. It's always something. But I don't know if you can hear me. Taylor, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me okay?
No, you sound like you're not on camera on speaker. It's like you. It sounds like you are.
Farther away.
There we go. Okay, I think Taylor came on again. All right.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so hi, ladies.
Hello, much better. Yes.
Yeah, so just going back on what I was saying that black men are not choosing to not marry, they're choosing to marry other races. So then
See,
that leaves the black woman to not be get like that leaves the black woman to not be able to get married because we don't want to marry out. Well, I'm not gonna say all of us, but I would
yes,
say me personally, I do not want to marry
right.
outside of
Me
my race
neither.
because no other culture or race does that.
I know.
But we're so busy hooking up with other races, and like you're saying, that's why we are going extinct because we're not just like all like you like basically what y'all been saying. Like you have to look at other cultures. The reason why they are so strong is because their foundation is built off of we stick together no matter
Black
what.
men and women don't see that. We don't see any of that. And
We
when you're trying
stick
to tell them,
together.
I don't
And
know.
so I was saying that black men are choosing to marry outside the race. And when you ask me, have I been told that like I was undesirable or like black men didn't want to marry me or like I'm an angry black woman and I just got a bad attitude and that's why nobody wants to marry me. I won't say that I was told that directly. It was more so indirectly. Whether it's like social media or looking at like the stats that some of you ladies were going through tonight. Um, it shows that we are undesired and black women are at the bottom of in any chart that you look at. Black women are at the very bottom and we are the most unprotected, and that is because we don't have, just like any other culture, they will go to the ends of the earth to protect their women, but black women, we are left to fend for ourselves and figure it out for ourselves when that is not how God intended it for it to be, and that is not how we intended it for it to be. Our men are supposed to step up, but now with everything that's going on in the world, and I would just wish our brothers could see what the system is doing because they're just falling right in line with it with the LGBTQ plus YCZ. I don't know, it's too many to name the whole, but with that community, they're turning our black men to, they're feminine now. They're not, there's no masculine bone in them anymore. They're turning our brothers into females when they need to be males. I've seen black men that are tall, muscular, strong, like wearing a dress, wearing makeup. And it's like, brother, what are you doing? Snap out of it. If you're saying something, Mom, I can't hear you.
And I put myself on mute personally because you were saying great things. Oh, Tia Marie, let me get you off mute. Can you hear us, Tia Marie?
I can hear you
Yeah,
guys, but I don't think you can hear me.
yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, excellent,
Very
excellent.
good points, Taylor. It's unfortunate, and it is. The problem with it, we all know what is wrong. What I am at a loss for is how we change it, because then again, you're asking the black woman to figure out a solution for the black man. In a sea of possibly black men who are doing what should happen in our community, but are they maybe not pulling young men into the fold so that they can get them to do the same? You know, I do see several black men in our community that try to do this work, but I would be curious to know, what do they see, or do they know what young ladies have as options when this is what the outcome is? Like, do they understand what's at risk, and what are they willing to do? I've had over the last few weeks, I've been talking about, like, how come at the board meetings, and how come at, when we're trying to put something together to be good for our kids in the community, feed them and clothe them, or whatever we're trying to do, the space is constantly void of black men. And somebody said, well, what if they have to deal with racism? What the hell do they think we deal with? So, well, he's not going to take off of work to come and do that. What the hell do they think we do? Then it's like, well, is somebody going to pay him to come and do that? They don't pay us. So it was really funny to me that they had these ideas about what should be happening in order for black men to engage. And I thought none of that stuff happens for us to step up and do what we have to do. And this notion of, like, some other cavalry is going to come and save us, some other group is going to come and do it, is lazy in my opinion. It risks nothing. And I find it very feminine when you are the lead in your community and we push you aside to get ahead because we can't count on you to carry things through. It is unrealistic position to put black women in. It is a zero sum for black women when you have to be 10 different things just to get him to be one. And it's unfair. It is, again, unrealistic, and I do not see it being sustainable if this is our point of view about how we're going to create young, protect our young, and sustain our young. I know I was pontificating there for a minute. But anyway, what I would like to do, ladies, I'm not sure what's happening with my computer, so I hope you guys can hear me, is probably start to wrap us up. I think it's been a very vibrant
I
show.
do too. Yes, I'm getting ready to get some food, but I'm good. Taylor, you have anything else you want to say?
Nothing
I
is
just want to
good.
say thank you for adding me to the show. You blocked me on the other channel, but it's
I,
We
okay.
don't know
I
It's
what
okay.
literally,
happened. We're
No
learning.
shade, no shade, no shade. I ain't gonna take it personal.
please don't, because right before you posted something, a bot posted something, and I thought I hit the bot thing, and I hit yours. So I'm gonna have to go back and figure out how to unblock you. We've been getting these crazy.
And I'm on your uncle's page because he's posting stuff.
I
I
just
don't
want to
even
say,
know
oh, I was gonna say you gotta have him on your show.
Yes, we need
if
to
I
go on
can
to
get
this
him.
show with our whole spiel, but I'm a show Tia how we can do it together, so we can like go on
Yeah.
together.
But no, I really just want to say thank you for having me on the show.
Oh yeah, I want to go more deep
Honestly,
into
this
that
whole
too.
weekend, I've just gained lots of knowledge. I've been able to show my viewpoint as a younger generation coming up in this crazy world. Um, and I've learned like so much, and I see things through a different lens. And I appreciate you all for shedding light and highlighting the inequalities and the disparities, and giving solutions too. Because a lot of times people say, "Well, this is what's wrong," but nobody gives solutions to the problems. So I appreciate you, ladies, for giving solution tips and tricks to help me navigate and help others navigate through this world. So thank you. And I know you're about to wrap up, so I just want to say thank you and good night.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Taylor, and we will let you know in advance. It's an impromptu. I would love to get more information on with you about how the dating part goes for a young lady like yourself. So, because that's very important right now. But thank you, Tia Marie. You have anything you want to say?
No,
Oh Lord, you sound terrible. Lord, you sound terrible.
I'm sorry. I was
That's
out,
oh, there
but
you go.
I'm in a
Better.
bad way. I just want
I'm
to say
gonna
thank
close out like
you to my
I'm gonna close
daughter
out with
coming in
some
us
music.
and giving us her perspective, and to my producer for all of her hard work and just making sure the shows are visible because I don't know how. Please cash app me if you can. There is usually a link in the chat, and you can also see me on YouTube. Please like
Oh wait,
and
let me
subscribe
find
and
this
share.
crap.
Like,
Where is
subscribe, and share. And I may even have my little niece do that part, Taylor. I'm gonna have you do my commercial in the beginning, but I might have my little niece Zendaya do my like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, that'll
You're
be
so
cute.
good
Yep,
at
that'll be cute. Yep, I can take that and do that. So I guess, ladies, we'll just clash out. I mean, close out, and I will just play some music. And I appreciate everyone. I love you, and everyone have a wonderful
Thank you. Signing
evening.
off.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Sayonara.